All right, well, hello everyone and happy Thursday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you back to Before the Four. Of course, the live stream where I go through some of 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. I hope you're all having a fantastic Thursday thus far, wherever you're watching Before the Four this afternoon, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your Thursday afternoon here. Now let's begin in Priceville, where earlier today we learned that authorities are investigating a bank robbery at Traditions Bank on Highway 67. The incident happened this morning around 8 a.m. Priceville police says 2 bank employees were preparing the ATM for the day. Shortly after, 3 to 4 people dressed in dark clothing and fully masked got out of a black sedan and approached bank staff aggressively. The employees went back inside the bank and the suspects got away with an undisclosed amount of cash from the ATM before fleeing the scene. Now, no weapons or injuries were reported, and 48's Faith Delp will have more details coming up in our evening newscast. But now we got to talk about it. This hot weather we're feeling outside. It's certainly days like this where I appreciate my AC unit a little more than normal, and that heat is not going away anytime soon. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis with your latest forecast. Brad?
Well, good afternoon. Not a lot going on the radar, but we're likely going to see an increase in these showers, a few thunder showers possible from Smith Lake on up towards Moulton and Russellville as we go through the day. It's very humid, but not as hot. So we'll just call this tropical, pretty normal for this time of year. We're getting kind of a break, but that break will end abruptly next week. In fact, beginning Sunday with highs back around 95 and a heat index around 105. Current temperatures across the board, this is pretty average, 89 to about 93 degrees. And your rain chances, they go up tomorrow to 40%. I think the best chance is going to be west of I-65, though. And notice how they kind of stair-step down. And that coincides with the incoming heat. Again, First Alert weather days for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, forecasting a high near 100 with a heat index 105 to 110. This weekend, still hot. You still need to stay hydrated and watch out for lightning if you have outdoor plans Friday and Saturday. I'll have the latest forecast for the rest of the weekend and the 10-day showing you those First Alert weather days coming up at 4, 5, and 6.
And now I say it every day, First Alert Weather Extra, that gets streamed tonight at 9:30. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis, he'll be back here in the CTV Center. And I'll have all the latest that he's seeing on the radar. Feel free to leave a comment. You can watch Weather Extra wherever you're watching Before the 4 this afternoon. But yes, you're just not going to want to miss it. But now, an update out of Albertville, where last week 7 people were taken into custody by ICE agents. Now, this all happened at the Chow King in Albertville. 48's Nick Ballinger with the update.
An investigation into alleged Chinese national and former employee of Chow King in Albertville, Xu Feng, is crossing state lines. Feng, wanted on felony fraud charges in New York, was arrested last week after Homeland Security agents told Marshall County deputies he was working at the popular Albertville restaurant. ICE agents determined Feng, along with 6 of his co-workers, are here in the U.S. illegally. Marshall County Sheriff Phil Sims says Feng fled to Alabama following his connection with a fraudulent driving school in New York called T&E.
T&E utilized social media and strategic advertising that targeted and exploited members of the Chinese community and guaranteed individuals' driver's licenses regardless of their immigration status, language, and even their ability to operate a vehicle.
Operation Road Test revealed in exchange for cash, the Queens-based driving school would provide you with a real New York driver's license. Feng's connection to the driving school, as well as how long he's been in Albertville, is still unclear at this time. But investigators from the Richmond, New York DA's office tell WAFF 48 members of the organization would take driving tests for clients, even with DMV employees being paid off.
Countless individuals are now driving on our roads without ever having demonstrated the basic skills necessary to do it safely.
Investigators say 14 individuals were indicted in the operation, including Feng and 3 DMV employees from Queens. Feng is now awaiting extradition to New York. We'll continue to bring you the latest on this investigation. In Albertville, Nick Ballinger, 48 News, on your side.
And now in the Shoals, where yesterday we learned that the prosecution is seeking the death penalty for the man accused of killing Autumn Strickland back in May. 48's Aria Pons with the details.
The Lauderdale County District Attorney's Office is calling this an intentional act that they say Logan Rogers needs to pay for.
Well, you know, there's pure evil. I mean, it's clear that this was an intentional murder.
Lauderdale County District Attorney Chris Connolly says they don't make this decision lightly, but when it comes to this case, they want Rogers to pay for what he did.
What happened to this lady was shocking. That it happened here in our community was shocking. It is extremely rare that this happens here.
For the first time, investigators have confirmed that they believe Rogers and Strickland had never met before the night she was killed. They say based on surveillance footage from cameras across the city, it looks like Rogers asked Strickland for a ride. At some point between downtown Florence and near 7 Points, Rogers got behind the wheel of Strickland's car. He then hit her with it twice and drove off.
We recognize the seriousness of what we are embarking on here, and that the death penalty is reserved for the most heinous of cases. And I would submit to you that this is one of those cases.
Yet they say there's still no motive from Rogers. Florence Police Chief Mike Holt says he keeps Strickland's family in his prayers because of this.
This is a tragedy, and what I hope is that you can find some peace in knowing that this case was handled with the highest level of care, professionalism, and determination. No stone went unturned, and no lead was not pursued.
A trial date hasn't been set yet, but Connolly says Rogers has been made aware of the charge he faces. Reporting in Florence, Aria Pons, 48 on your side.
And now we're going to head to break, but coming up, following up on the steel coil that fell off a truck on I-565 earlier this week, more on this recent string of motorcycle crashes we've been seeing lately in the valley, and the recovery journey of a woman in Arab after she was diagnosed with a scary liver condition. It's all ahead. I'll be right back in 1 minute. Well, hello everyone and welcome back to Before the Four. Now a scary situation on an exit ramp along I-565 Tuesday after a massive steel coil fell off a truck. Crews are still repairing the damage today. And 48's Callie Neese with more.
Seth Burkett from AlDOT said there has been 4 incidents just in Morgan County where a truck or a truck's load struck a bridge in just the last 3 months. Yesterday afternoon, a heavy steel coil fell from a truck, damaging the flyover bridge at the interchange of I-565 and I-65. Tim Frazier from the Alabama Trucking Association told me if these coils fall off trucks, they can cause a lot of damage, which is why they have a lot of rules and regulations on how to secure them properly. He says they can weigh more than 50,000 pounds.
We've seen accidents over the years where maybe a truck turned completely over and had a steel coil on the trailer, but stayed intact because it was properly secured. So as bad as you hate to say it, most always is due to lack of proper security.
Burkett says these kinds of accidents can be extremely dangerous.
That's a hazardous situation for something like that to occur during traffic, and obviously the results of it pose some threats as well. It creates massive gashes in the pavement that, could blow a tire or cause a crash themselves.
Burkett told me crews have finished the repairs on the asphalt and are preparing to pour concrete, adding that the shoulder will be closed overnight and the outside lane will be closed again in the morning for work to continue. Decatur police responded to this accident. We've reached out to find out exactly what may have caused this to happen, and we just haven't heard back yet. Reporting in Tanner, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
And now to the recent string of motorcycle crashes we've been seeing lately. Last week along the Tennessee Valley, 4 men died as a result of those crashes. The recent spike has sparked much concern here in the Tennessee Valley. 48's Faith Delp spoke with a man who was in a motorcycle crash back in 2004. Let's take a listen.
In 2004, Chris Osborne lost his left leg in a motorcycle accident in Birmingham. He wasn't speeding, he wasn't driving recklessly, he was going less than 25 miles an hour when a car pulled out in front of him.
The first thing on my mind was, don't go into shock. It's a broken leg, you'll be okay, just wait for help, try to stay calm. I ended up saying the Lord's Prayer over and over and over just to keep my mind off the injury.
This is Osborne with his bike before that crash. When that car pulled out in front of him, he knew he had to make a split-second decision. The car hit him in the shin and he looked down and saw his broken leg. He stopped his motorcycle, laid on the pavement, and waited for help. 21 years later, Osborne still rides motorcycles, but he's even more aware of the risks. Paul Walker is the Riding Academy manager at the Redstone Harley-Davidson. He's been riding for a very long time and says he's had some close calls. Luckily, nothing serious, but every time Walker sees a car about to pull out, he says he needs to assume they won't see him and figure out how to react. He adds it is extremely important to wear the proper gear because that is the only protection you really have.
When you're in a car, you've got bumpers, you've got crumple zones, you've got airbags. When you're on the motorcycle, it's just you and Mother Nature. The only protection that you have is the safety gear that you wear.
Osborne and Walker both advise motorcyclists to get proper training, and they ask other drivers on the road to pay attention to bikers. Reporting in Huntsville, Faith Delp, 48 News, on your side.
And now an Arab woman is hoping for a second chance at life. She was diagnosed with non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver, and now her liver is shutting down. Samantha Privet has been fighting to stay alive for her 3 young children ever since receiving that life-changing diagnosis. However, things might be turning around for her as she just might have a matching donor, her Athens State professor. She's been attending Athens State since 2022 with dreams of becoming a history teacher. Her professor heard about her health issues and decided to help. Privet is waiting to see if her professor is a match. That news could come any day now. She told our own Sarah Grace Kennedy that her diagnosis hits close to home since her brother died of the same disease right after she was diagnosed. Privet's family is giving her strength as she fights to get better. Let's take a listen.
My children keep me going, and then I think of my brother, and he wouldn't want me to give up. I'm going to keep fighting for as long as I can.
And now let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss in our evening newscast. Details for Jazz in the Park, that was announced today. A WWE wrestling icon passing away earlier today. And the ribbon cutting for the Huntsville Center for Technology. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. And it is 3:53. We have time for, that's right, Facebook Fun today. And there was some technical issues in yesterday's Facebook Fun segment on Before the 4, but today I have the comments preloaded in the chat. Let's get into it. Our Facebook question of the day: what's your least favorite thing about the summer heat? I think for me, it is definitely just going outside for 15 seconds and already be drenched in sweat. I already have to change clothes, and I've only been outside for 15 seconds. That is probably my least favorite thing, all the changing of clothes. But let's see what you all had to say. Someone said the electric bill. Shatandra, she said the whole summer experience, sweater weather over sweaty weather. Hey, that is an awesome comment there. I personally do like the summer, but I do like some sweater weather as well. I like October, musty people. Yeah, a whole lot of that BO going around. So yeah, make sure you're applying deodorant, especially if you're going out in public. No one wants to smell that. Debbie said the humidity, she's about ready for football season. Hey, aren't we all? I am so ready for football season. My favorite sport, 100%. Dawn said electric bill, 100%. I've been noticing it's getting a bit pricey here in the summer because I am blasting my AC unit. I think we have time for a couple more comments. This is one right here. Let's see, this from Christy Johnson. She said migraines. Hey, especially in this summer heat, make sure you're staying hydrated because, yeah, migraines do typically kick in around the hot weather, 100%. And maybe we have one more. Here we go. Right here. It's the humidity that gets you. If I had $1 for every single time I've heard someone say that, but it's true. It's not the heat. It is the humidity that gets you. No doubt about it. But you all had some super awesome comments on today's 48 Facebook question of the day. We posted this one a little bit later than normal, but still had some super awesome comments from you all. Thank you all for commenting on our 48 Facebook question of the day. Y'all, this is my Friday. There will not be a Before the Four tomorrow. I am actually going down to Birmingham for a concert, but I will see you all again on Monday. Enjoy tonight's evening newscast, and as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.